You are listening to Kickspot.
And we're back.
Every time.
Part 2 of episode with Nick, Shackelford, Mr. Creative Agency owner / e-commerce brand specialist / future husband / dog dad, you know, and all the above, you know. So, by the way, he's got 2 beautiful dogs at home. Shout out to Luca and Levi. Follow them on Instagram.
Sponsorships.
Looking for sponsorships. Come on, PetSmart, Pets Go. Come on.
Hey, you're their dad. You know how to build their brand, so go ahead.
They like treats and ropes.
So, what we're going to talk about in part 2 is very, very good subject, I think, for all of us and for our listeners. I think it's a very educational piece of it all. We are going to talk about the tactical piece of Nick's industry. And what I mean by tactical, we are going to talk about how to build a brand and how to build your business. Also, we are going to shed some light on trends, analytics, and some of Nick's, competition out there and what makes their company different than the rest. So, Jinu, go ahead.
Yeah, so Nick, so as a musician, an old school musician, I should say, I struggled with building my brand. I think when Migs and I are talking nowadays, I'm like, man, just building up Kickspot, like I didn't have to go through that type of experience back in the day. So as far as for me, when I was promoting myself, I was at the malls, local malls, like slinging CDs, like getting people to listen to my music, and I put it in their ear and I'd be like, hey, what do you think? And if they said it was bad, I'd be like, oh yeah, I don't like that artist anyway. Yeah, take it away real quick, But if they said it was good, I'd be like, oh, that's me, $10 an album, right? So I'm just advertising myself. And then during that time, the MySpace craze came in, and now there's so many social media sources. So from the past marketing experience, I think I kind of mastered that part of it. But then the new school is so much more, busy. It's just crazy. So guide us through the differences between past marketing from your experience versus now.
Yeah, I think I came into it right at the end of the past marketing, like the in-person pop-ups, the physical experiences. Like that's where we were originating at, right? You wanted a brand to create a space. You go to that space, you experience it, you buy it in store. They kind of had like some of their stands, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna fix the mic here.
Oh, there we go.
Let's do that.
Appreciate that.
Might be a bit easier.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Much better?
Yeah.
Way better.
So the past marketing, right? You want an experience, you want an in-person experience. You had to spend money on that. You had to build the sets. And right when we realized it's not as efficient as putting up an ad online, and those same people you had to get to convince to come to that place, or when you're at the mall, you only get that subset, you only get that area.
Yeah.
It's hard to reach more people. So when you go online, we were able to really distribute a message quicker, more effectively to the people that need to hear it, which is essentially just really good targeting, really good marketing, right? That's why Facebook, Google, Twitter, all these brands or platforms that grew so quickly is because they give you the ability to send a specific message to a specific consumer, hoping that they take that specific action that you want, whether it's listen to your songs or sign up for this interview or purchase this product.
Yeah.
It's the perfect way of getting in front of the right people that would actually enjoy or want that product, right?
Yeah.
And so on digital, like all online, the reason why everything is working right now is it's so smart. Like at the past, it used to be, okay, I need to build specific products with specific copy or words, specific people in it to hit the right person, and then choose an audience. Like, I need to go towards people that enjoy shoes in this state or this region, and you put that message right there. You don't have to do it as much anymore. You can go what we call broad in the industry for everybody. We wanted this one piece of creative for everybody to see, and then off of that, depending on the reactions, depending on the shares, depending on the purchases, depending on the clicks, really, right? We adjust from that.
So let's say I am a brand new business, and I'm looking just to market myself. How do I how do I grow my business?
Yeah, I think
And
you
compete,
can do it,
really.
You can do it from a personal standpoint, a personal brand, like one of us, like we're all growing our brand, or an actual business. You have to define like what you stand for, right? If you guys relate to like, who's your audience? I've asked you, Kickspot, like who's your audience? would you be able to narrow it down to like 3 people or 3 personas? Once you narrow it down to those, take a chance. What would you say there would be?
I would say Asian American.
Okay.
People that like the development leadership
Cool.
wise, and then just people that like current events, like
Perfect.
like popular stuff.
Yeah.
So those 3 pillars or those 3 like personas, even within them, there's a lot of things you can break down. So even if you target the Asian Americans, right?
Yeah.
You want to understand within the Asian American community, do they want to hear more about how to connect with more Asian Americans? That's a theme within that theme. Or do they want to learn about what's culturally relevant specifically to that public or that population? That's another theme within that theme. All of those for us in building a business, if you create the content around it that provides some benefit, provides them what we all say, like provide value, they're going to be like, I feel as though I need to pay you back by purchasing that product from you. Because what you're talking about, what you're servicing, what you're putting out there is exactly what I need for whatever reason.
So if you're going more in depth, like, is it through Facebook, like, or Instagram hashtags? Is it like paid sponsorship? Like, yeah, guide me through that.
Yeah,
like
that's
an example.
It's a good question because now you guys talking about organic versus the paid side.
Yeah.
Right. So on the organic side, you're trying not to spend as much money as possible, right? You're trying to create the content that's going to exist evergreen or all the time. So organic, you're creating specific creative for. Listen, you guys talk about those 3 topics. Well, you might find out that creative that does best for the Asian American group, that's the type of content you get all the responses from, all the reactions from. You can probably make more of that.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm a business and I'm trying to sell sheets, and these sheets stand for, they're antimicrobial, so they never get dirty. They always smell fresh, and you don't have to wash them as much. Right. Those are 3 different areas. I might be able to speak to the mother that doesn't want to wash it as much for children.
Yeah.
Or I can speak it to the college kid. He's like, dude, I'm only gonna wash my sheets once.
Like
Yeah.
Right. Those are the type of styles that we have to include in selling that product.
Okay.
So all that allows us to, once we realize, okay, this brand speaks specifically to these demographics, now it's on us to position and write words that convince you to buy. Hey, do you have 2 children and you're mother of 2? You're busy and you also work. I know that during times like these, you don't want to spend all your day doing the sheets consistently. Guess what? You don't have to wash those as much. They're going to stay fresh twice as long. So you're going to save money on not having to wash your clothes or wash your sheets as much. Plus, you don't have to waste the time to actually go fold them and put it back on the bed. Use our sheets over these sheets.
So are you creating like video content on that? Or
It's
is it
both.
just social media, like bulletins? Like what are you doing?
Yeah, it's images, it's videos, it's diagrams, anything to communicate the message, right? I think an image can serve differently. Like if you talk about the way that Facebook works, there's inventory and they have different types of long form videos, short form videos, tall, skinny, like you have a 4x4 image, you have a 16:9, a 9:16. You have 1080x1080, which is a 1:1. All these different types of formats that'll fit your feed differently because Facebook or Instagram knows how you're acting with that image or video or still. Like, are you sharing these more often? Maybe you might share images more often. Check your feed. You're probably getting more images than videos.
That's super interesting.
It's the same way for the ads, right? If you're in an ad and you start getting a 4x5, a really tall image that takes up the whole phone, and the brand or Facebook knows the likelihood of me making a purchase after seeing that, you're going to start getting a lot more of those.
That is super
because it's
interesting.
learning how your behavior
That's very
is.
true, though. That's
Haven't
very,
you
very true.
guys ever been weirded out? Like, we'll talk about, I really hope we get some chicken later today. I think there's a great spot by my house called Wingferno. All of a sudden, we're going to start getting like chicken ads, and we're going to start seeing
Yeah, I was
stores
just
around
talking to him earlier today. I was listening to a particular artist on Spotify. I'm driving, right?
Okay.
And this is just happened today. Listening to an artist, like, and then I go on Instagram, right? And then literally I click on a page and this particular person is following that particular artist. I was like, is that a coincidence or is that literally Instagram algorithm working, like Instagram God just like working against my favor and like knowing what I'm doing? Like literally while I'm listening to the artist in my car and I'm looking at pages on Instagram, I shouldn't be driving and looking at pages on Instagram,
damn, okay, yeah.
But it was just weird that like we were following the same person that I'm listening to on the radio right now.
Yeah. No, this is why TikTok's in such, and we can go down this path when we go towards like what we believe in the future.
Yeah.
TikTok's getting all this issues from privacy laws, right?
Yep.
But so is Facebook.
Always.
Instagram.
But
every one of them.
think about it from two perspectives. First, on the consumer side, if I'm using the platform
Okay.
and I'm just logging in, like I don't log in going like, oh fuck, I hope I buy something today. Like I don't log in going, I hope to God I buy a really nice knife
Yeah.
from something. Okay. But I see a piece of content that I really engage with, I like it, and I purchase it. Because I've been talking to my chick about we need new knives, like this is really dull, like these are ugly. Whatever reason I'm giving Facebook or whoever around me the knowledge that I am actually I'm actually looking to buy this, and I get it and then I buy it. That's a good experience. I want that.
There are also issues with like companies messing up their algorithm. So I remember, I think it was Walgreens or Target or something. They got it so wrong that they were sending out, I think it was like condoms to,
I know the story.
like 10-year-old girls or something like that. It was
What?
something, yeah, because they messed up so bad with their algorithm.
Oh, okay.
So all their feeds were like of condoms or like, I don't know, like
On Instagram,
or
like-
pregnancy testing and stuff. So they actually got sued for collecting the wrong data. So it could go wrong
Got it.
in a different sense.
So let me ask you then. Can you talk about that specifically as far as analytics, and the importance of analytics as a company? And, is there a restriction on type of analytics that you gather? And is there some sort of kind of basic guidelines that you have to follow if you are gathering analytics to catapult your business?
Yeah, I mean, when should you even look at analytics?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I think
Can you
that's
shed
super
some
important.
light
Like,
on that?
As we're growing Kickspot, it's like
I mean, we look at analytics every day.
we're looking at analytics, like when should we post?
Yeah.
When's the highest engagement? Usually like on a Monday.
Mondays
For
and Fridays
us,
for us.
It
Yeah.
seems like people are, working remotely, so they're wanting to listen to something.
For sure.
So that's when I'm always like, Migs, 9 a.m. Let's go post
Yep.
something so
Yep.
that we could grow that. And then on Friday, it seems like people are kind of like checking
Yeah.
out a little bit, but they're still listening. For us, it seems like those two, but I mean, we don't have that many followers right now. So when do we take the algorithm seriously?
I think those are fantastic questions. So I'll try to break it down just so I can hit every topic. So analytics in terms of analyzing your own business. And then you briefly touched upon restrictions that brands need to take care of.
Yep.
So we'll talk about the CCPA, which is what just passed in California.
Yep.
And then the last thing, what was the last one you brought up?
When should you look at your algorithm?
Okay, so like when do you take that serious analytic? Okay, so CCPA that just went through, it was actually very recent. It started in January, but it didn't fully take in effect until this month.
Can you explain what CCPA is? to our
Absolutely.
audience?
So it's a privacy act that California has put into place to require any website, business, brand that's advertising inside of California or to Californians, us if we get an ad right now, that when we land on your website, we have to fully have a process. Me, the brand, has to have a full process in a way of if that user requests all of their data to be deleted, then you can delete it all and have no storage and no ability to pass or communicate to them again. So if you land on and you go, hey, I don't want you to remarket or send any messages to me. I need you to delete all my data. I have to send back information of how I clearly delete everything.
That it's been done.
Exactly, which is very wild and difficult because California in itself has probably one of the largest economies, not just in the States, but in the world.
In the world, yeah.
A lot of money,
It's
right?
top 10.
Yeah.
So they're going to we need those audiences to send our products back to or show our products back to because they buy so much. So any business we have, if you look across United States alone, and so we currently work with 100 brands. So if we look at the portfolio of our brands, selling all sorts of things. You have California, Texas, Florida, New York, Washington, Oregon, and there's like this tight little, we call the Bible Belt. They always are buying products from us. It just kind of just migrates there. Well, arguments, more population, maybe they have more surplus cash flow, densely, like more people to just sell to in general, right? It usually flows that way. So when you cut off all of California, and what it says is we weren't able to send, if someone hit our website, Facebook's pixel and the analytics and algorithm isn't able to send another follow-up message, which was usually what we say, like maybe a discount or a new piece of creative to convince them to buy.
Yeah.
We couldn't market them anymore.
That's interesting.
So if you think about it, they might be the first movers to take away tracking or take away cookies or take away the pixelation of a consumer that we can no longer send marketing messages to.
Until
terrifying.
Can they retract that back? Like, no, I want to get those again. I want to get the marketing pieces.
Yeah, you can say like, hey, I want include me back on your newsletter.
Okay.
Include me back in your marketing mix. You can, but will they do that? I don't think they will.
So
If you feel strong enough to say delete me, I don't know if they're gonna want to be like, actually send me more messages.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to find out.
help me understand this. So is this based off of let's say that you see an Instagram post, then there's supposed to be some type of like unsubscribe thing
So
on there?
you're talking organic versus paid. If I go off of Instagram or Facebook onto the website, that's when you have to give them a pop-up that says allow or disallow.
Okay. On like a Facebook site
Once
or
you leave
Instagram site or
No, not even Instagram or Facebook. Once you leave Facebook or Instagram's platform, brand, once you get off of their platform, once you get off of any owned Instagram or Facebook property, that's when you have to give them the ability to not allow you to market to them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. It's been really tough for this month specifically.
Yeah.
Of how do you build new strategies? Okay, now we can't communicate to California. We can't track it. What does that actually mean for our revenue? Some brands saw drops of 65% of our marketer spend.
I bet.
Crazy.
That's
So that's the analytics side. We talked about the CCPA. That's what we're going through. The tracking, and eventually people like Apple is doing this now. Safari is doing this now on their platform. They're stopping the pixelation or stopping the ability to track. It's getting more difficult. Okay, which puts an emphasis on us having to be more specific on the creative we make. So in the past, we had to do targeting. In the past, we had to be like really strategic on the account structure or our campaign structures. Now we have to be making deliberate content to speak to a specific consumer so that they can go, I get it. That solves my need. I'm going to make that purchase. That's where we're at right now in this business. And so for you guys, when do I actually look at the analytics, or when do I actually look at the marketing?
Yeah.
Don't get confused with, right now you're looking at small sample sets of data and you're making big bets on it. I believe you guys are or any brand starting out, if you're not spending, I'll equate it to dollars being spent. If you're not spending $10,000 on paid ads, you're not necessarily getting statistically relevant enough or data to make any decisions on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that equates to just users to your site. Like you need to be getting at least 25,000, at least 30,000 unique users to your website to start getting some data. Like, okay, these pages get hit most often. Let's see if we move this up a little bit or make this button bigger to get maybe they click this more often because it seems like they like this better.
Yeah, it's crazy because when I look at our statistics on our YouTube page, I'm like thinking to myself, I think I can scale it even though it's a small sample size. And then you turn around, we release a new episode and you go, wait, how did this one episode that we felt like was going to be really good content better than the new one that we just did, but it got way less hits than other episodes. So I'm like, okay, I can't get caught up on scaling at the moment because there's nothing to scale. It's just, to your point, it's just building it organically at the moment until we can actually physically scale.
Exactly, because you're making bets on, okay, we just did this one talk and I used this certain image that you love making those, the YouTube specific reach out. Well, if you make consistent ones, like, oh, all the red ones are getting clicked more, but all the red ones are being posted on Tuesday. So maybe it's Tuesday that's making them watch more versus the red. You don't have enough of those commonalities to make a decision. Same thing with ads. We always say you have to buy that data. So a brand that we begin working with, they always go, how much money do I need to figure this out? I go, okay, the more cash you have, the more opportunities you have to test at the beginning. So say if I have 10 grand, okay, the way we're going to set up our budget is we'll spend $2,000 on each persona that we define, right? Mom angle, children angle, the nanny angle, if we're selling those sheets. And then we have enough money to spend and whatever performs best out of that, which even if we break that down, we have to make videos, images, copy specific, test it, evaluate what happens after $2,000. And we go, okay, listen, we didn't learn too much because we only spent a certain amount of money. But what did we learn from what we just did and how can we make something better next? That's why we have Konstant Kreative. Because you run a massive campaign, you invest thousands of dollars into a photo or content shoot, and you're like, fuck, how do I repurpose this?
Right, exactly.
Like, I definitely did not get my money's worth out of this. But I do believe these two clips are good, and let's use our hero image, and let's put some transitions in, and let's repurpose it. Then you start taking like the sound bites of like this 30-second of Asian American, we love them, blah, blah, blah. Chop that, run it, and go, how many clicks or how much how much learnings do we get from this? And then you go cultural or statistical or analytical learning, run that. Do we get more clicks there? Nope, not as much. Okay, we go back to the Asian American.
So from our perspective of Kickspot, if we use Konstant Kreative to let's say build content for us, right? Are you guys able to tell us like the click-throughs and all of the analytics that we need? Like, are you guys able to pull that and send those reports to us?
Oh, you do that yourself. Because
okay.
You'll set up it in your own campaign, in your own ad account, and so you'll have all the data in front of you. So before you leave, I'll even show you guys like what it looks like on the back end. Like you as consumers are seeing like these ads, but I'll be like, oh, you want to see what actually
that happens?
I'll show you what that looks like.
Okay, that's great.
So us as consumers, all we see is, oh, I talked about this 2 days ago. How the heck is it in front of me now?
Yeah.
Click that.
Or 2 hours ago.
Yeah, even weirder. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just got out of the car. What is this? You just see as though someone's listening or you did something in the past and you clicked on it. But us, we're timing when that goes out, how much money we're spending to get into how many auctions for people to actually make a purchase eventually to us. It's crazy how it ties in.
Yeah.
So let's just say, for example, I am a brand new person that wants to grow my Instagram page.
Okay.
I think it's just statistically what Instagram is the #1 place for people to look at pictures. I think that's what I've been told. Let's say my name is Migs and I love my walking down the stairs poses, looking away or whatever, just walking down the stairs. But I want to be the future Instagram model.
Right.
And I don't have
we know he wants
money.
to do.
Yeah, of course. And
Why am I being put on blast right now?
And I don't have any money to spend.
Which we know he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So this is good. How do I, as Miguel Fajardo,
right? Full name,
grow my Instagram page without paying somebody? What are the top 3 things I should be doing to just grow my own male model?
I love how you guys
Instagram
just had to emphasize male model.
Hard stop. Instagram.
Follow my Instagram.
At right here. Just my at. Click below.
You might as well just discontinue your Instagram. It's never gonna grow.
So he needs to find out what type of content is gonna resonate the most, right? So we do know he does love a good look down pose.
Wow, you guys know me really well.
Okay, so
that game's strong.
Okay, boom. So he might be able to get whatever in that picture, and if he starts noticing like, oh whoa, not just I like it, but all these other people like it. Guys and girls, more guys, less girls.
Yeah, right? Obviously, like 80-year-olds.
So
I saw that
check
analytic.
So if that analytic comes through, and you're like, oh, that's what people want, and then he starts getting more noticed by brands in that space because he does it so well. That way he can start scaling it and get paid through that route. And then he starts figuring out, okay, actually, then when I show shoes all the time, that gets a lot of engagement too. I think I'm going to go down consistently that route. He starts pulling in more attention. Maybe Hickey's reached out to them. Maybe a certain growing brand type that's in the Asian American cultures area that wants to be a part of what Migs is about. Then now that pillar's matched, found it on audience there. This pillar matched over here with that like look down look, and then maybe he nails it, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna nail it all the time.
And then here now he's a persona, and people want to jump on the platform that he has here, which he's gonna make content.
Yeah.
Now they may be interested in that. So those 3 things for him might be the way that he needs to continually produce content towards. That way the brands that want to be about that or people that want to invest in that will continue to follow and hopefully share and cash is exchanged.
So I'm going to elaborate on this as well too, right?
I mean, we could use Kickspot as an example.
We're going to use Migs as a constant example here. Cool. So let's say those 3 things are working for me and I am competing against a studlier Instagram like Real Jinu, right? Yeah. So you see where I'm getting here, right? So do I consistently just do those 3 things that was working, or do I change my strategy? Like obviously I'm competing against other male models in the industry as well. So how do what should I be doing? Do I just continue that route, or what's your advice?
Same as Migs?
No. Let's say Migs finds out the 3 things, 3 poses or whatever that he likes that obviously he's getting a lot of hits on.
Right.
But there's also other Instagrams that are obviously growing as well too, like Instagram models. How do I separate myself from doing something different? Do I keep that consistency?
Well, it depends what you want to stand for. It depends which area you want to go in. Because if he finds out those things constantly work, it's the same thing on the brand side. You're just constantly testing. It's an iterative process of like, hey, I want to actually be known for the car industry. I want to be actually known for this. You have to think of the idea, come and execute somewhat to highlight that area that you want to go into and see if someone relates to it. That's the only way you keep changing, because if you get stale and you just go, I'm only known for this type of content consistently, that audience is going to drop off. They're going to get bored. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like brands do a new drop.
Yeah.
Or they do a limited edition, or they do a collab, because it keeps it fresh. And like, wow, I love this brand, but they haven't had anything new, so I'm not really needing anything different.
So what I'm getting from you is that Migs needs to change his poses from time to time
To test.
to test it out, which he hasn't really done. That's
In a minute.
why his Instagram stayed the same.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
I believe that he needs more basketball work, right? Like, I think more basketball content, as basketball NBA starts picking up, he's going to, that audience is going to grow, because maybe people want a ball, or they want to do TikTok collabs on dunks or something.
He does have an interesting shot, so he sticks his ass out a little bit. So I think that might grow it as well too, because it's a.
I just don't understand how we went through throwing shade at me in this show.
We're just talking about
testing and
people that
growing
have
an
messed
audience.
up.
This is
on
analytics.
Instagram.
Oh, now it's analytics.
We're an
Oh,
analytic.
okay.
People that have messed up
I
in the
understand.
past, and then how do we make it?
I
grow
hate both of
from
you.
here.
So this is the point. The point we're both trying to get at is it's a constant test on the personal side, and it's a constant test on the brand side. But the one thing that you have to all agree upon is you have to do more. You have to make more content. You have to make more edits.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a little break right now. What I do want to talk about is the future of the industry. You did bring up TikTok, and I do want to talk about this, because I think that is a market that people are still trying to figure out. But maybe you have some advice on that, because I'm like thinking maybe I should start making some renegade dance videos to grow my social media following. So when we come back, we'll talk about all those things.
Awesome.
You are listening to Kickspot.